Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming to our next workshop in the series. Today, we'll be talking about finding undergraduate research opportunities here at MSU.
Before we get started, I'd like to do a quick land acknowledgement. Michigan State University recognizes that the land on which we conduct research, explore questions, and express creativity sits on land ceded in the 1819 Treaty of Saginaw. We acknowledge that Michigan State University occupies ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, Three Fires, Three Fires Confederacy of Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. As one of the first land-grant colleges, Michigan State University is a beneficiary of the land allotted through the passing of the Morrill Act in 1862. As such, we have the responsibility to hold each other more accountable to the needs of American Indian and Indigenous peoples.
So we'll hop right into the introductions. My name is Emily England. I'm from a suburb of Chicago called Winfield. I'm majoring in material science and engineering with a biomedical concentration. My research interests are largely focused on biomaterials, and I currently work on two different projects here at MSU. The first one is looking at failure mechanisms in honeycomb patterned polyethylene glycol hydrogels. And the second project is looking at the surface modification of magnesium alloys for biodegradable osteopathic applications, which are just a lot of words. That means I'm looking at biodegradable implants for the body. A fun fact about me is that I went paragliding this summer. I was in San Diego last summer, and so it was a lot of fun. And a little sneak peek of a benefit of research is that you can make a lot of connections with the members of your labs. And so one of the pictures that I have here on the left is me and my friend Allison. And we just happened to be in the same city this summer for our internships, and she's a member of my lab. And so it was so fun to get to make that connection through research and to hang out with her this summer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hari Ramakrishnan. I'm from Macomb, Michigan. My major is in physiology with a minor in leadership of organizations, and I'll be graduating this spring. My research interests are studying the neuroimmune interactions in chronic pain. I work in Dr. LeMay's pain lab. And a fun fact about me is I love sushi and birds. I have a bazillion stickers of them on every surface I can find: laptop, mini fridge, mountain bike, refrigerator.
And we'll hop right into our objectives. So first, we're going to cover three steps to finding opportunities in undergraduate research. Then we're going to talk about some of those key undergraduate research resources. Next, we'll talk about strategies for finding opportunities. And then we'll end with some final advice and some commonly asked questions.
In order to start your research or on undergraduate research experiences, here are some steps we recommend you take. One, identify your interests. What are you curious about? What classes excite you the most and why? What interests you about your major? Identify key resources you can use to find these opportunities, which is what we'll present here to you today. And three, communicate with faculty. Research your faculty members and their research interests, projects, labs. You'll be surprised at how many different kinds of research projects occur here at MSU. Get creative with your search.
So first, let's talk about identifying your interests. We have three great questions to ask at the bottom of the slide, and we'll run you through what that conversation could look like. So Hari, what was your most interesting class?
Yes, Emily, I think my most interesting class was PSL 431 and 432. They're classes on human physiology. And my current research mentor was actually teaching the neuroscience topic during that class.
And then another question could be something like, is there a problem or issue that you want to know more about? And so for me, one thing that I knew going into materials engineering is something that interested me was sustainability of materials. There's a lot of issues, especially these days, with making sure that the materials we're using are sustainable, that they're recyclable. And so that was one thing that was really interesting to me is looking at how we can use biosources to create materials. And then another question that you could ask is what are your career goals? So Hari, what are your career goals and how can that help identify interest for research?
Yes, Emily. So I'm seeking to become a physician scientist through an MD, PhD, or DO PhD program. So it kind of it combines the, I guess, the knowledge of a physician in the clinical setting and the, I guess, the search for basic science knowledge as a researcher, and puts them to essentially bridges the world between them. As such, when I'm searching for a lab, I'm searching for a lab that solves a problem in human physiology. And particularly, my interest area happened to be neuroscience, and that's the lab I'm in.
So one really great resource to use to find research opportunities is called MSU Scholars. So there's a couple of different ways you can use this, and we're actually going to run you through the process to using this. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and then I will share MSU Scholars. So when you open it up on the landing page, it will give you a very broad overview of research at MSU. So for example, what we can see here is that over the past 36 months, there's been some 16,000 articles released by MSU faculty members, 224 books, and something like a little over 1,000 conference proceedings. So this is really broad. So what we want to do is we want to narrow down our search using a couple of different tools. First, we can search by research topic. So if you know that there's something that you want to know more about, so for example, let's say that we were really interested in frogs. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to search frogs in our research topic. And it will populate with a bunch of different researchers at MSU who do research related to that buzzword. Another thing that you can look at is there's these terms related to your search. That's why we recommend starting broad with your search and narrowing it down from there. So let's say that you wanted to search frogs, but you weren't sure where you wanted to go specifically with frogs. So over here, you can see there's frog culture, there's amphibians in general, aquatic organisms. So there's a bunch of different ways you can take your search using the terms related to your search. And we'll get back on how to look at a faculty member after we do our next way of searching on MSU Scholars. Another way that you can use MSU Scholars is by academic units. And so if you click that little drop down, it will sort by departments, programs, and other units. If you aren't able to find the specific department or program that you're searching for, just check in all three tabs and you'll probably find it somewhere in there. So for me, I am in materials engineering. And so I would go ahead and look to see, here we've got material science and engineering. So let's click on that. And so this will narrow down your landing page to the specific department or program that you select. So what we see here is that in material science and engineering, there have been 300 articles released in the past 36 months by MSc faculty at MSU. And so if we scroll down, we will get a summary of the different department faculty, the program faculty, and you can go ahead and click on somebody to get some more information on them. So for example, I've done work with Dr. Bullard, so we'll click on Dr. Bullard and get some more information on him. So first, it will summarize some of the awards that he has recently received, and then if you scroll down, it will also link publications. This is going to be really important, and we'll touch on this a little bit later in the workshop. You can also see different scholars who are related to the faculty member that you select, as well as key terms related to that faculty member's research. It will also sometimes give you a little bit of a summary of that researcher's specific area, and so this is really useful for getting a lot of information on a faculty member and on the research that they're currently doing. So let's say we want to go back to that landing page, and I will introduce to you guys my favorite part of MSU Scholars, which is this diagram down here at the bottom. So this is a bunch of the trending research topics within the department that you've selected. And so it will populate with all these different bubbles. The bigger the bubble is, the more research is going on within that specific area. The smaller the bubble is, the less research is going on in that area. And then it is the darker the bubble is, the less unique the research is, and the lighter the bubble is, the more unique the research is. This is really great if you've identified what program or what department you want to do research in, but you're not sure exactly where to go or what buzzword to be using when you're using MSU Scholars. And so let's say that I wanted to know a lot about batteries, for example. So I could click on that, and then it will populate with different works that have recently been released by MSU faculty members related to the buzzword of battery. And then you can go ahead and do the exact same thing. You can click on that faculty member, get some more information on them, see their publications. And so, like I mentioned, MSU Scholars is a really great tool to be able to sort by different departments, sort by research topic, and it can help be one of those opportunities to really kind of identify your interests. So that's why it's a great resource, and that's why it's something that we always talk about in our workshops and in our peer advising meetings. We're going to pop back on over to the PowerPoint to move on to our future resources. And so I'm going to share that, and I will head to the next slide. You're muted. You're still muted. Hey, Hari.
My bad. I was muted the whole time.
No, you're all good. Like I said, they'll probably do like editing out, like because we switched tabs anyways. So and I'm on the
Okay.
am I on the correct slide? My little toggle thing wasn't working there for a moment. Okay, perfect. I am.
Oh,
All right,
yep.
you're
This
good to
is the
start.
next slide. Awesome. So next place I would check out is well, okay, bloopers, cut that
It's
out.
okay. It's okay.
Next place that I would check out is the department directory. Every single department has a directory of all faculty members and the research that they're conducting. In my case, for example, my major is in the Department of Physiology. So I can search up MSU Department of Physiology, click on the website, and then I can find a thing called the faculty directory. This allows you to see a list of all the different professors in the department, as well as their bios and different what their research interests are and what they want to study. This can also help you narrow down your potential research mentor. Okay. Another place I would check out is MSU Handshake. Handshake is a job platform that shows it's a great place to look for research opportunities because it has positions that researchers are actively looking to fill. So you can find a variety of research positions on Handshake.
Another thing to note about Handshake is that some of them will be MSU specific, but some of them might be more fellowship programs that are external
Mhm.
to MSU, like the example that we have on the screen, the Mickey Leland Energy Fellowship Program. Another great place to find opportunities is on the IRCA website. We have a tab for college resources, which will sort by college. As you can see here, we have the contacts per college. We also have some information on some summer research opportunities that you'll want to check back in with during the fall, because a lot of those deadlines can sometimes be in the late fall semester or maybe early spring semester. But there's great opportunities to look for summer research as well as semester research on our website, which is irca.msu.edu.
Yes, and lastly, a great resource is the Pathway to Research program. This program will take you, if you're a person who likes more structure, this program will take you step by step through the process of identifying mentors, of drafting your emails, of practicing interviewing skills, and finally acquiring that position over the course of 3 weeks. So if you want one-on-one support, the Pathway to Research program is a great place to look for that.
So then the next step in the process is going to be researching and reaching out to faculty members. One thing that we like to say here at the Undergraduate Research Office is research the researcher. And so what that means is you want to review papers by those faculty members. So like on MSU Scholars, when I pointed out, you have that landing page for each faculty member that will summarize their recent works. I would recommend clicking on those links and then taking a look at the papers that they have published most recently, because those will be most relevant to the current research that they're doing. And then you also want to focus on brief and professional emails, as well as getting help through writing centers and engaging with maybe your peers to proofread emails and to talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, and then when you reach out to faculty, oh man, I forgot what I usually say on this slide.
No worries. Like I said, there's definitely opportunities to cut things out.
Okay. What do you usually say on the slide?
Um, uh, Honestly, I feel like it kind of changes time to time. I would say just kind of start with the one that's on the top. So be like, you want to prepare. Do you want me to take the slide?
What's the next slide after this?
The next slide after this is the interest email.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah, I could take that's the next slide.
Okay, I'm just gonna think about what I'm gonna say. Um, okay. Some of our tips for reaching out to faculty members here at MSU are listed here on the slide. So first, you want to prepare for this how you would an informal interview. That means you want to make sure that you dress nicely and that you come prepared, that you have questions for the faculty member, but also like that point right below it, you want to make sure that you have done some basic research about the faculty member. Make sure you're familiar with their area of research and that you are able to formulate good, educated questions. You can also get some tips from your academic advisor. They probably have some experience of talking to students about getting in contact with research opportunities, so it's a great resource for you to use. And remember that professors are not going to expect perfection from you. They understand that you are a student and that you are still in the stage of learning so much, so they're not going to expect perfection from you. But what you do want is you want to talk about how the professor's research really aligns with what you're interested in. You want to establish passion in what you are looking for, and you want to establish a lot of interest in the work that they are doing.
So, what would an example email look like? Here on the screen, here is generic email, which the number one, the most important thing is you want to be able to show that you're genuine interest in their research. You want to check their lab or website to gather information through the various resources that we went over. Do not send generic emails. Each email should only be able to be used for that professor because it's so personalized. You want to show them your deep interest in their work, and ultimately you want to develop a relationship with them. Some things that you would want to include are your name, your major, your year, what brings you to research, and why you chose their lab in specific. And then you can also attach your resume or CV and ask for a time to meet with them. Here's a template, which can give you a rough idea, but do not use this exact template since it's been around for a few years. So professors have likely seen this template before.
Another great piece of advice is that if you don't receive a response right away, wait 1 to 2 weeks before trying to reach out to the faculty member again. Plenty of things are happening during the school year, from midterms to just classes in general. And so if you don't hear a response right away, 2 weeks is a good benchmark to wait to reach out again. And then another great place to find opportunities is to look at the UREF program booklets. On our website, we have all of the UREF program booklets from so many years past, and we'll continue to upload them in future years. And so it's a great place to kind of explore what sorts of research are out there for undergraduates. And every single entry in our UREF program booklets is research that's done by undergraduates. And so you'd be amazed at the different kinds of opportunities there really are out there. It gives you a lot of information on things like topics, as well as mentors. So as you can see on the slide, we have an example of, on the bottom, you can see a highlighted mentor in their area of research. And so that's a really great thing to use because you can read some of the research that an undergraduate in their lab has done, and then go and visit the faculty website, go and visit MSU Scholars to get some more information on this mentor. And then you know that they do have undergraduates in their lab who are a part of the research that they do. We have a QR code here on the screen that you can scan to get access to the 2023 UREF program book to see what sorts of abstracts are in there. But feel free to check the website for previous years and for future years.
Okay, the next tip we have for you guys is to network. After your class, ask your professors if they have any research opportunities in their lab, if that's something you're interested in. Even if they don't, you can ask them to refer you to colleagues that have similar research interests that they do. You can also reach out to your TAs after class. They are graduate students, so they have a very good understanding of research and they do research in addition to their teaching. You can reach out to your advisors. They may know of other research opportunities that are currently available within your department. And also ask your friends who are currently doing research. They would give you the best opinion of what an undergraduate researcher does in the lab that they work at and what might be like for you if you join that lab.
Absolutely. And so to wrap that up, we have a little bit of some final advice for you guys. First, like I said earlier in the presentation, research the researcher is a really great piece of advice to remember that you have to do a little bit of research on what the professor does so that you can come to any meetings prepared, so you can write your email and be able to really connect the interests of the researcher to your own interests. And the next piece of advice that we have is to be patient and persistent. There's always lots of things going on during the school year. So if you don't get a response right away, that's fine. Like we said, reach out within roughly 2 weeks is a good benchmark. And don't be afraid to reach out to other labs. Some labs might not have openings at a specific time, so be patient and be persistent. And the last piece of advice that we have is to get to meet new people through the process. There's plenty of opportunities to form connections with research mentors, with grad students in the labs, and with other undergraduate researchers. So here we have a QR code if you would like to schedule peer advising appointments with the Undergraduate Research Office. You can visit irca.msu.edu/ambassadors for some information on the ambassadors and their different areas of specialty, but you don't have to schedule with somebody who's in your specific area of specialty. We are able to help anybody in any discipline. So now we're going to segue into some questions that we commonly get at this presentation. And so the first question that we often get is, what are faculty members looking for in an undergraduate researcher?
Yes, Emily. So number one thing that faculty are looking for, regardless of whatever field that you're applying for or whatever major you're from, is genuine interest in the work that they're doing. Faculty members are dedicating their whole careers to researching one very specific topic and solving one problem that in the world out there today. So they really want you to be genuinely interested and willing to learn. And you can learn all the techniques, I guess, along the way. You don't necessarily need to know them coming in, but you do need genuine interest about the problem that's being addressed. Another question that I want to ask you, Emily, is what will faculty members expect me to know?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It can be kind of daunting going into these meetings and feeling like you might have to know every little bit of information from the research papers that you reviewed. But a good thing is just to know general themes that there are in their research. So, for example, I work in a chemical engineering laboratory, and going into a meeting for the first time, I wouldn't be expected to know really specific things like what a polyethylene glycol hydrogel is, but knowing general things like what a polymer is and general chemistry principles is a really great place to start. So professors understand that you're a student and especially that you're an undergrad, they don't expect you to be an expert in their area of research. They're there to help you learn, to teach you. So they don't expect you to know everything. So don't feel worried about having a lack of knowledge when you first go into that meeting. So thank you guys for coming to our presentation today. We hope you got to learn a lot. And like we said, there's opportunities for peer advising, and we hope you enjoyed.